Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebooking. And this video is for the entire world to see about a few minor problems that's happened in the past or present. By the way, Aaron thinks I should wear this shirt. You can see. Says goodbye in the back and hello in the front. So, first of all, what we're talking about, I'm just going to do it this way so, I don't have to cross my legs so you guys can see it. The problem is regrets. Now, I don't regret going through a transition from male to female. I don't regret putting on a bracelet. I don't regret, looking cute and happy. What I do regret is something that's very, very important to me. And so I want to talk about it in today's video. Now, a lot of people out there, like in the past, Aaron's talked about using cocaine and crack and, my sister has told me, one of my sisters, and my niece does heroin, crack, coke, meth. Those are some hardcore stuff. Now, something to catch in mind is that it's another drug is alcohol. Now, the woman I love very much always tells me it doesn't do you any good. It'll damage your liver, it'll damage your kidneys, it'll damage this, it'll damage that. It'll even damage friendships, marriages, etc. It's true. Same goes with drugs, but alcohol, impairs you in ways that you just don't want to think. You drink too much of it, you'll black out. When you wake up, you might be sitting in a jail cell wondering how the hell you got there. Which, no, it hasn't happened to me, but I made a vow to God to not drink. This woman's not going to drink anymore. You see, too many things happen, and then you see these people sitting back, and they're sitting there, and they're like, yeah, gonna have a cold one. I'm having a cold one. Oh yeah, I'm having a cold one. Problem is it inebriates your brain. It kills brain cells, for one. I believe, thinking about it, Alzheimer's is caused by alcohol. My uncle basically was losing his mind and going to, what do you call it? He had early stages of dementia because of it. Excuse me? Early stages of dementia because he was put into a nursing home. When he fell too many times, he put his head through a wall. So when you got early stages dementia, you got other issues going on, then you got to realize he was an alcoholic. My other uncle is an alcoholic, and death is knocking at the moment on his door, yet God isn't ready to take him out, So you got that, and then you got that. Then you have another uncle, apparently, who died at 30 years of age driving a motorcycle. He was a police officer, supposedly. Mom didn't give me any info. But if you look at all these things in the entire world, everyone, you might know many people that are alcoholics. I mean, heck, I've been called an alcoholic many times. I just binge drink. But right now, between God, Jesus Christ, I'm looking for redemption for myself. So, when you sit there and you're accused of many things, you can be accused of committing adultery, you can be accused of theft, you can be accused of murder, you can be accused of all these different things the Bible says thou shalt not do. The Bible also says thou shalt not drink in excess because you're not in control of your body. And that is so damn true. And people need to realize this before it gets out of hand. Now, I'm a minister of faith. I've been basically trying to regroup with everything. I mean, my best friend only sees me for walking the dogs, morning and night, and dinner. Rest of the time, make your own lunch. But in the same way, it's a lesson that needs to be learned, So when you're sitting there and you're talking about lessons being learned, it's not just about the actual lessons being learned. It's like you're transitioning from male to female, for example. Not a regret, but you sit there and it's going to be a hot day. You decide jeans, a t-shirt, or a dress. You choose the dress. You go out looking your best. Dressing best. Rhymes. Then you're sitting there and you got someone saying, oh, well, you're sticky and you're sweaty and you're wearing tights and you're wearing, this and that. It's not worth it. But you could be sitting there wearing pants and it's still going to chafe you in the back, which is going to give you rashes because, friction and stuff by walking, So you got to look at the big picture of what you're doing, for example, Same goes with alcohol. There's a ramification to everything you do, or for every positive, there is a negative, as you know. Like you go out in public in a dress like I do. I get scorners. There's the negative. Oh well. For every negative, positive for certain things, there's negatives, I mean, look at it this way. My best friend said alcohol, he doesn't like alcoholics. But there is problems. There is. When you basically go around and you don't think there's a problem, but you realize there is. So, then you make a vow to God. Now, I'm strong enough. I think I can withstand Satan's temptations to alcohol. But, same time, how much damage have I done? Let's see. Alcohol has damaged me a couple times. Once I was put in a hospital for over drinking alcohol poisoning. One time I hit my head so dang hard I woke up in the emergency room. They didn't know what happened to me at Harborview. There's stuff like this, and then you sit there and you say, no, it won't happen again. Then something else happens, and something else happens. Then, when you're minding your own business and you realize that you screwed up thoroughly and totally, and you have nothing to show for it, and you're sitting there thinking, I gotta stop because it's gonna kill me, or can kill someone else. Or it can hurt someone else. Look at my best friend. He's hurt. Mentally, he's hurt. I'm mentally hurt. But you know what? It's going to take a long time to fix that. Then, I get a mental hurt today, and I'm hoping Annie's watching this, where she basically says I'm using Aaron as an alibi. No, Annie knows what I did was totally wrong. It wasn't illegal, but it hurt our friendship, basically. It's because Aaron had one of his friends basically had it happen to him, and he said absolutely not. Well, he had it happen, and so bottom line is I made a vow to God, and I was rebaptized. So now I'm devoting myself to God more and my Bible more, and doing what I can when I can. But it's not over. You got many things. Let's take another situation here. Now, Annie and Aaron know I like these, but I have to put them on hold because I'm taking a trip. 3 trips. One's to the Philippines to be with Annie. I love Annie. I would never hurt Annie. Annie knows this, but apparently Annie thinks I hurt her for some reason mentally. Annie's hurt me mentally many times, but I always tell Annie it's okay. We'll get through this. It's like the letter. She basically said, I'm sorry for what I did to you, my darling. I will stay with you forever and ever, I promise. And this was on paper. So, we might have some ups and downs, but you know what? Sometimes things happen, Now, about other things. Thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit murder. etc., etc. The Ten Commandments: honor thy father and the mother, so your life will be lasted longer. Well, first of all, usually a couple doesn't steal from each other. They could lie off and on, but that is wrong too. Adultery is where you're actually lusting and you are having sexual relationship, fornication with the other person. That's wrong. I'm devoted to one person and one person only. So technically, because of this, it hurts me when I've been told that I'm flirting with girls online. Let's see. 5 years ago, before I knew Annie, or right after, before Annie, probably 6 or 7 years, I knew Angela. Me and Angela were friends. We passed things around. Now, Annie's watching this, so I'm going to share something with you all. Christmas last year, I sent gifts to Angela yearly. I'm planning to do a birthday present just because. I sent her a dress. This is what she got me for my Christmas. The Orvis small stream fly fishing. Why? Because she knows I'm into fly fishing. But guess what? We're not on speaking terms. We had some problems. Guess what? It'll be rebuilt maybe in the future. Okay, going on. Let's see. What else? Annie accused me of flirting with people. Well, let's see. There's a guy on Facebook who was making passes at me tonight. I basically told the guy that I am taken and I am with a woman. What happened? He decided to leave me alone. I even said I'm devoted to her. So technically, because I'm devoted to her, I'm not sitting there flirting with like everyone under the sun. I mean, yes, I've had to ban a few people. I've had to do this. I mean, heck, I had a guy today asking me to show him my crotch. Yeah, so when you get perverts like that, you just don't want to even be on Facebook, And you got to assume either they're horny or they're drunk or they're on drugs. Well, guess what? It's not going to work with me because, frankly, I am not going to allow this to happen anymore to me. I've been accused of flirting. Well, let's see. Flirting lately? None. Why? Because I've been not on Facebook. And before this whole thing with Aaron, I wasn't on Facebook much. I'd be on Facebook with my phone. Let's see, messaging my sister, messaging my aunt. And now I got my uncle messaging me, trying to set up a date to meet with him for coffee. So you got him basically doing this, and then you're accused of such and such, like flirting or trying to make passes at the Mrs. Sisters. Sorry, but if it did happen, and that's a big word, then it must have been while drunk, because that's the only thing I can think of. Because frankly, I'm a clean person that doesn't try to do things for, do things, So you got that happening, you got this happening, you got the other stuff happening, and then you got me basically trying to figure out what to do when it comes to this whole ordeal, this whole thing, I mean, look around. You look at the big picture, what do you get? Yeah, alcohol is not a good thing. So before you sit there and want to get inebriated with your buddies, just realize if you get too inebriated, whether it be beer, wine, or liquor, hard liquor, you're going to be paying for it in the morning. Your brain cells are going to be dead, and eventually you might lose everything that you know or in mental capacity because you drank too much. Now, I've been trying to explain this to my darling. I won't give these up yet because there's got to be some enjoyment in life. Cigars and looking at my darling, as beautiful as she is an enjoyment in my life. And not just looking, talking with her. I mean, yes, she can get angry, but I've been angry with her too. But, that's what it is about a relationship. It's give and take. Now, selling me something like, oh, this happened or that happened or sister's doing this. Truthfully, I must be ignorant or stupid because I didn't even pick up on it. I just went my own separate way because I couldn't help them. I asked Anna, and Anna said, "Oh yes, I'll take care of it." Then all of a sudden, I went my separate way. Didn't even message them. It's like, yeah, it's all gravy. And then tonight, I'm accused of something. I'm thinking. So at dinner, I told Aaron because we only had like 45 minutes, and he's like, "Well, you could have done it while you're drunk," but that's a far-fetched, long length story that could happen. But then I realized if it's the case, you got to realize I just made a vow over 10 days ago to give up alcohol completely in the eyes of God. And God basically says that if you make or Jesus said, if you make a vow, you must uphold your vow. Never make a vow unless you're going to uphold the vow. And that is what the Hebrew scriptures also say, and the Greek scriptures. So when you uphold something, you got to realize that it's a big thing to do, So while you're sitting there and you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to get inebriated," I've been inebriated too many times or drunk, and it doesn't feel good. I mean, yes, let me put it to you this way. Here's how my drinking pattern was for some of you that didn't know. And I'm going to explain this to you thoroughly because, one, I want to explain it to all you, transsexuals, gays, lesbians, bis, heterosexuals, you name it, including Annie-wives, that drinking... I've been having a clogged nose for a while, too. Drinking is not good. This is coffee, by the way. I used to tell Annie, yes, I'm not going to drink anymore. Yes, I'm not going to drink anymore. What happens? Something happens, and I go back to drinking. Some ordeal or something bad happens, I go back to drinking. I'd get a bottle, it'd sit on the floor here, and I'd be like this with my whiskey, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to sit here on this chair, or sit here on this floor and watch the lonesome dove. Wish I had some pigs to kick. Next thing you know, next morning, Aaron's like, "What's wrong with you?" And whiskey got me kind of cranky because, our wine. I'd wake up with red wine in me, and I'd be like, 4 hours of sleep. You gotta pay the bills. And then Aaron's like, go home, take a nap, And then the next 2 days, then you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I don't want wine. Next thing you know, you're chugging beer. And it's like, look. And eventually, you drink too much, Or me and Aaron we were out on my porch, and we were sampling different cigars. I was drinking cases of Angry Orchard's apple cider. It's basically like a beer made with apples. Oh, yeah, it's good, it's a cider. Some people think cider could be like apple juice. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great, isn't it? Then Annie says, "Oh, no, it's bad for your health." No, it's just apple cider. It's good. It's good. No, it's bad for my health because it doesn't just destroy your liver and kidneys. It does other things. And besides, let me tell you another thing. I'm on a medicine. I'll show you it. Give me a second. Mixing alcohol with this medicine is not a good combination with the pills I take as well. This is estrogen in liquid form. It goes in the muscle. You don't mix it with alcohol. When I was drinking alcohol, I'd skip I keep my estrogen and my other pills send me the male hormone blockers, but I would be drinking so much I'd skip the other pills that needed to help get me better. So what happened? I accumulated too many of the pills. Finally, after this whole ordeal, I decided drinking is not for me. You do too many stupid things. You can do things like Stupid things. You walk off a cliff and survive, and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to do it again. Or God's with me. No. Thing is heck, I've tempted God a few times that I don't even want to talk about. I realize God's there for me. God will get me through this. But you got to realize also that alcohol is a drug. It's not a drug that people talk about. They sit there and they say, oh, yes. I mean, look at Aaron. Besides having a problem the other day with alcohol, there's a woman basically that got so damn inebriated, apparently. She beat the piss out of her best friend. They're still best friends to this day. He said, oh, how did it work out? Because we were walking the dog. Well, this lady wanted help with her front and facing and stuff in her store. She's got an antique store. What happened? Yeah. Aaron goes in there, and she's so pissed off Friday night that he won't go back there. She was so drunk, with a hangover. Yeah, whatever, And it's like, you asked me to help you. So, problem is, alcohol doesn't do any good. It damages the liver, damages the kidneys, and it makes you stupider, and you lose brain cells. So please, before you sit there and think alcohol is less dangerous than anything, it isn't. You get drunk so bad, and you do something you don't know what you're doing, and you're in a blacked out state, or a semi-blacked out state, or a state where you're not in control of your body, but Satan might be, and you do something like murder someone, or steal for someone, or wound them heavily, or other issues, then you need to realize it's time for you not to drink anymore, because you'll just want to drink more and more and more in excess, and then pass out. I mean, I'd be drinking plenty myself, and I'd sit there and be like, yeah, I want to take a nap. No problem. So, and there is other things, sometimes things happen, and you got to realize before it gets really worse that you can still have time to fix it. So, what I'm trying to say to you all is, please avoid drinking. It doesn't do you any good. Now, I can't say I've been a saint or an angel. I would love to be a saint and angel, but I'm not. I mean, Aaron says he's more of a saint than an angel, but he's not. He's done some crimes back then, And, back then, from before I even met him, it was because of crack and coke. And now, my sister and niece, same thing. Crack, coke, meth, heroin. Stuff you just don't want to be on. So when you can sit there and say, oh yeah, I can get through this, I'm on drugs. No, you can't. You need help. You need to get clean. Alcohol is a hard one too, because something bad happens, you just want to turn around and be like, glug, 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 the hell with it. But no, I made a vow to God Almighty Himself and Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I'm not going to fail. I even made the third witness is the Holy Ghost. Yes, we make mistakes. I made a vow to uphold to Annie. Now, if Annie wants to accuse me of doing something, the only thing I can think of is it was alcohol related. Otherwise, it didn't happen, I mean, like I said, I must be stupid and ignorant because I didn't even know, what was going on. And I just assumed her family was busy. They used to message me and check in with me, but I was like, They're like, what, 19 and 21? They're beautiful, busy girls, probably got boyfriends. And I'm like, Annie's got them under control, no problem. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there minding my own business, being like, oh, yes, But then Annie basically sometimes doesn't message me, and it's like, she's either griping, grumping, or having her, like tonight, Aaron said my missus is PMSing, having her period. So be it. I have my period too. So, and for some of you out there, the way I'm sitting right now, it's not ladylike, but I'm just trying to be comfortable, in my best way possible. So, I'm seeing a doctor tomorrow for all of you. Just going to talk about alcohol and a few other things, but yeah. So, the other thing I wanted to say is I'm getting tired of Facebook when it comes to people messaging me because all I get is what do you call it? Not retards. Horny guys messaging me for things that I do not want to deal with, And then I'm getting other things that kind of bothers me too, like what do you call it? Videos on YouTube. Like, I'm subscribed to several of them, and yet a lot of them out there, and I'll bring this up in another video, but please, before I continue, please, because this is almost 26 minutes, think before you act. Do not drive a car while drunk. Do not walk outside on the streets drunk. Do not get so inebriated you can't control your body functions or doing what you're doing. Alcohol is a drug. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Alcohol is a drug. So please, you made many mistakes in the past. You still got a chance to fix it. I mean, it's the way things are, So before you go and say, oh, well, just remember, I've been there, I've done that. I'm almost 37. Took me this long to realize from 19 to 37 that alcohol in moderation is fine, but alcohol where you get completely crap-faced and don't know what you're doing is wrong. And that's where you need to limit yourself for not drinking. I made a vow to God, I'm upholding my vow. I made a vow to Annie, I'm upholding my vow to Annie. I made a vow to myself, if I get too many perverts on Facebook, I'm banning them all. And please, just realize, alcohol is a bad thing. I've learned the lesson the hard way. Now I'm trying to get redemption. So, through Jesus Christ, through God, through the Holy Ghost, through my best friend. Please, don't do anything stupid. Don't do something moronic. Just remember, alcohol is not a good thing. That's it, everyone. Please add subscribe if you like. Please post comments, feedback, suggestion. And by the way, before I log off, do I regret drinking? Yes. It cost too much money. And I could have done many other things. And to Annie, my darling, I love you very much. I would never, ever hurt you. You've hurt me many times mentally, but I've always forgiven you. I love you. The rest of you, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion. Thank you. And may God bless the world.